Okay, I've hit record. So, this is a police interview in relation to the death of Dr. Andrew Fairfield.
Mm-hmm.
The aim is to establish accounts from everyone stationed at Bowers Wilson to gain an understanding of the circumstances surrounding his death and to establish the course of his dying. You're not suspected of committing any offence at this time, and as such, you're not under arrest, and this interview is not being conducted under police caution. Is that all clear? Yeah?
Yes.
Brilliant. Listen, thanks for being so prompt today.
What do you know? A doctor sees you on time.
Well, maybe only in the Antarctic. Like, just for the recording, the time is 2000 GMT on the 25th of June 2023. This is DCI McAllister talking on the phone with...
Oh, Dr. Jasleen Batra.
Lovely. Am I okay to call you Jasleen?
Sure.
Okay. If it's okay, I'd like to start with a post-mortem. I've listened to the recording, thanks for sending it through, and I want to talk to you about the cause of death. Can you talk me through your rationale, please?
Okay, but if you have been through it, I'm not sure what else I can add, to be honest.
I'm just really wondering if you've been able to draw any new conclusions, which weren't on the recording. Further thoughts, I guess. Yeah?
Thoughts about
Well, as I said, the cause of death.
blunt force trauma to the head.
Right. And could you explain how you came to the conclusion that this wasn't caused by the fall into the crevasse where he was discovered?
I mean, in terms of the pathology, that does remain a possibility. Can't rule it out completely. Any of those wounds could have been caused by who knows what ice formations that exist down those gaps. Even so, I'd call it an infinitely small possibility. My logic is that for one of those blows to be caused by an ice formation, okay, possible. But for two wounds with an identical mechanical fit on different sides of the cranium to be sustained in the same fall, not really possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, an infinitely microscopic likelihood.
Yeah, sure. Well, listen, it's worth saying our people here agree.
But presumably people with a lot more expertise than me.
Oh, look, I was really impressed with how you handled it, considering the conditions you had to conduct it under.
Thank you for saying that. It was a tough situation.
Tell me what you can about the assailant from your examination.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Well, how about her height, for example?
Oh, right. I couldn't say. I'm not really a pathologist.
No. I mean, I get it. I really do, Jasleen. It's just the thing is, I'm stuck here in London trying to make progress with a murder case like 10,000 miles away.
Near a 9,400 miles.
Right. Yeah.
I'm walking every yard of it in my mind every night, especially at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine.
I'd already decided this mission was a fuck up. Excuse me. And then this happened. I'm just ready to go home. But we have a long time left.
So, listen, Justine, you're 100% convinced, are you, that Dr. Fairfield was dead before he arrived at the crevasse?
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, the number of blows, it was like he wasn't just killed. Whoever it was, they really wanted to. I mean, there was a degree of frenzy there.
What's making you say that?
Just that any one of those blows would have killed him. But they went on and on and on. I mean, whoever did that, they're still here. Maybe I've sat next to him in the canteen.
Well, or her.
Yes, or her.
Just taking us back to the post-mortem.
Of course. Sorry.
That's fine. He had his coat on, right? I mean, do you think Drew could have just walked out there?
No.
You're sounding pretty sure. Can you explain?
Okay, right. Johan and I were looking for the hammer.
You're sold on the hammer theory, are you?
Technically, it would be a club hammer, actually. A wider head. Almost 3 centimeters.
But you found it?
No. Sorry, not yet.
Yeah.
Bit of a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Most people have something like that in their kits. I suppose they're useful for going out onto ice, erecting equipment, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we have loads of tools all over the station. All the maintenance guys have kits too. Plus, add to that all the tools for the vehicles that are closed off for winter.
Yeah, nightmare.
And we're trying to find one that looks like it was used for this.
I know.
If it were me, I would have got rid of it. So, where do we start?
Yeah, but you will still keep looking, right? I mean, it's just so vital for the case.
Of course. But back to what I was saying, when I was looking, I was in our locker room and I saw this little bit of blood, what looked like dried blood in the corner. So I did some research. Obviously, we haven't got any luminol, but you can use other dyes, benzidine, except that's been banned since 2012, phenolphthalein, none of that is available. I looked into crystal violet, but that takes time to catalyze, and then leucomalachite green. And I happen to know that Sienna employs fluorescence microscopy in her research, which requires molecules called fluorophores.
Okay.
And malachite green is one of the fluorophores she uses. I mixed it with some sodium perborate in glacial.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, does she? We're talking about Sienna, right? Does she know that you've used it?
Inspector, please, you're talking to your best new recruit. I snuck in. She doesn't know.
Well, full marks.
I took it back to my surgery, mixed the leucomalachite with sodium perborate in glacial.
I am glad we're recording this.
The payoff? In contact with hemoglobin, blood, it turns green. I made up a solution, got one of those plant spray things, and sprayed it all over the locker room floor. It went crazy green, showed this puddle shape on the floor and small bits up the walls, flicks.
Yeah, did you get photographs?
Of course.
Yes. Thank you, Jasleen. Thank you. Wait a minute, hang on. Do you know how old the blood could be? I mean, could it be from a previous accident?
You'll have to ask your people, but Google says it wouldn't trace after about 3 months.
Okay.
And I'd know if someone had lost that much blood since I'd been on base.
When you say a puddle, what are we
I'd
talking
say
about?
at least 250 cc.
Okay. Well, Jasleen, sounds like we've got a murder site. Excellent. Where is this room? How isolated is it?
It's at the far end of the building. No one should have been going in or out of there at that time of night. It's always empty when people have clocked off for the evening.
And was there any blood on the ceiling?
What?
Well, if it was a hammer and he was struck there, I would expect to see cast-offs on the ceilings.
Oh, I didn't even think to look. I didn't spray it.
Listen, well, don't worry, but maybe you could go back and have a go?
I suppose so. Yes.
Yeah, are you going to need help with that?
I might need a ladder.
Okay, well, Johan, actually, Jasleen, can you do that on your own? I actually think that would be best, yeah?
If that's how you want it?
Yeah, just for now. And the photos, can you send them over to me, like, as soon as, yeah? We'll do a full blood pattern analysis here. Also, maybe you could measure up the room for me as well. Get as many photos of the area so I can see the whole picture.
You really want me to not get Johan?
It's best if we limit the number of people who know at this point. It's just
Is
a protocol
Johan
thing.
a suspect?
Well, it's just the more people who know, it's kind of like
Johan. He's been helping the whole time. He's been leading the whole investigation.
Sure, Jasleen. He's been doing exactly what's expected of him. Honestly.
Oh my God! Wow, he is a suspect.
Look, at this time, I'm simply trying to establish what happened, and as I trust you, and I've not spoken to the others yet, I'd rather you didn't involve anyone else with this task. That's all it is. Yeah, does that make sense? Can you do it on your own?
Yes.
Brilliant. Listen, you've done incredible stuff here. Honestly, I can tell you, people are going to go crazy for those photographs. I really cannot thank you enough. You've moved us on like
I'm
a huge
not
amount.
going to just email them to you.
Oh, okay.
People could hack my emails. My email goes through the Keone servers. I mean, the person could.
Right.
And then he'd know, and I'd be in danger.
Yeah, okay. No. I get that very wise. We'll set up a secure drop for you. It'll be a kind of triple lock Dropbox thing.
It's really secure?
Well, I'm not a techie, but it's not Gmail.
Okay, I suppose.
Look, Jasleen, I'm going to need to ask some questions now about the night Drew died in detail. I'm not interrogating you here, okay? I just need you to work with me. I need everybody's help, right? Because the sooner we conclude this case, the sooner you can stop being afraid. Yeah? And that's
Sure.
great. So, are you right or left-handed?
Really?
I am going to be asking everybody. I'm sure you understand.
I said the killer was probably right-handed, but I can't be certain.
Of course.
I am right-handed. I suppose you want my alibi too?
Yes, please. I just need to know where everybody was.
I was in bed, reading
Right? Sure. Reading what?
a book.
Anything good?
Middlemarch.
Ah, that's a wonderful book. Did it for A-level. Casaubon, Dorothea,
It's
Bloody
my
Rosamond.
mother's favorite.
Ah, that's nice.
It's absolutely unreadable. Pages and pages of incomprehensible sentences. I'm only doing it for her.
No. Listen, once you get into it, it's completely
I'm on
riveting.
page 466. I'm over halfway through.
Yeah, sure. But listen, don't give up on it. It's a masterpiece. Okay? Anyway, back to my questions. What time did you leave the solstice party?
Pretty early.
Can you remember the time at all?
Not exactly. Maybe around 8:45-ish.
Uh-huh. And can you tell me who was still there at the party when you left? I mean, and who left earlier than you? Anybody?
I think when I left, most of the gang was still there. I can't be sure. Maria, Drew were there. Christoph, Greg, Anders. I'm not sure who else, to be honest.
And when you were back in your room, what else did you see or hear, if anything?
Nothing. My room is quite far from the canteen.
Okay. And look, Justine, sorry to ask, but can anyone vouch for you during the time in your room?
No.
And then what?
What do you mean?
Well, after you'd finished reading.
I went to sleep.
And then what happened?
Johan and Maria woke me up looking for Drew around 11 p.m. I said I hadn't seen him, went back to sleep. I wasn't thinking that much about it. And at about 1 o'clock, I think, Johan told me there was a body.
And where were you when he told you that?
Still in my bedroom. He knocked, woke me, asked if he could come in. He shut the door.
Okay.
At first, I was confused, I thought he might be drunk or something.
Has he ever made advances towards you, Justine?
No, nothing like that. But, like a big party, the middle of the night.
Okay.
Then he explained what had happened, what he knew had happened, that they had to find Drew, that they brought him back.
And Johan, could you describe how was he at that time?
Breathless, exhausted, shocked, very pale, like he wanted to cry, but he didn't have the energy.
And what was he asking you?
To look at the body. I remember saying, "How on earth did you find him?" And Johan told me about the trackers in the coats. I've got to say, I didn't know we had them.
But nobody told you about them?
Maybe they did. To be fair, I don't go off base much, so maybe I didn't pay attention.
And where was Dr. Fairfield's body at this stage?
Still in the locker room, I think.
Okay.
They asked me where they should put it. Me! Like I was in charge of dead bodies.
And what was Johan like when he was asking you this? I mean, did he seem confused, worried, stressed?
We were all worried. We were all shocked, totally freaked.
And what was he asking you exactly? I mean, what were his exact words? Sorry to be so.
He said he wanted a body examined, needed me to examine someone dead.
To do a post-mortem. Yeah?
That's not the word he used at that point.
Okay.
That came later. And please, can we get this straight? It wasn't a proper PM. I don't know how to do that. I don't want people saying that.
No, that's understandable.
I don't want to get blamed. I was doing it because I was asked to, because there wasn't anyone else who could
No,
even.
I get it, Justine, honestly, I understand.
It was horrible. Doing that to someone you know. You're not supposed to.
No, I feel you.
It's hard to. I mean, like they teach you to disengage, but
You and Drew, I mean, were you close, Justine? I mean, were you friends?
no, wouldn't say so. Not especially.
So what would you call yourself? Colleagues, co-workers?
To be honest, he was a total pain in the ass.
Okay.
I mean, like he was getting that way.
Well, can you be specific? Was there anything he was
It was
doing
this whole Mark thing. He kept disagreeing with my diagnosis, my treatment regime.
Right.
I mean, like he wasn't a doctor, was he? So entitled. Sorry, I shouldn't.
So you and him were debating Mark Rennick's treatment. Is that it?
Drew got this idea that Mark was maybe being drugged in some way by someone.
Did he say who?
I don't know.
Justine, were you prescribing Mark anything before his breakdown?
No, not before. But since, yes. Mark's under sedation. I can show you the charts and records if you need to see them.
And what did Drew think that Mark was being drugged with specifically? Did he say?
Not sure. Maybe Mark was taking his own drugs, his own stash of something.
Well, that must be possible, right?
Johan and Matteo searched his room pretty thoroughly after the event before he was locked in.
Yeah, but still you can hide things.
You're right.
But Drew also thought that somebody else could be drugging him.
Yes. Yeah? I'd like to know how. He said the breakdown, the event, doesn't fit with winter over syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, from everything I've read, it is far from typical, right? His symptoms. I mean, winter over syndrome tends to involve a slow decline, lethargy, disinterest. Yeah? Dr. Fairfield also, he seemed to be wondering about PTSD, didn't he?
Yes, that was. Sorry, how did you know about that?
I've got access to some of Dr. Fairfield's notes.
I see. And his secret recordings?
I'm not at liberty to say, Jasmine. Mark Rennick served in the forces, didn't he? Have I got that right? It's Afghanistan?
Yeah? That's what I've been told.
But Dr. Fairfield seemed to be suggesting that the PTSD wouldn't really account for all the symptoms he's displaying.
He kept asking me to do a blood test. I said I had no grounds. He said it was harmless. I said that it would constitute an assault if I could not medically justify it or get consent.
Mm-hmm.
He kept saying, just a blood test and, you might find something useful.
Mm-hmm.
People think we can just go around blood testing anyone we fancy without a reason. We can't.
Yeah, I know, story of my life.
It would be okay if Drew had left it at that between us.
Mm-hmm.
But he told other people his crazy drugging theory. And that was, well, it was undermining.
Yeah, sure. But listen, Justine, wouldn't it have just been easier to do a blood test? I mean, you can make things up, right?
I did. I caved. Did it the day before solstice.
Okay. And?
Clean as a whistle. I mean, obviously, I only have basic reagents here, so it's a limited range. But still, nothing showed up.
What, nothing?
No.
But what about the sedatives? I mean, the ones he's on now, would they not have shown up?
Perhaps, but to be honest, I didn't check for that because I know I've been prescribing those anyway.
Yeah, of course. Well, and that sample was taken on the 20th of June, is that correct?
I'll double check, but that sounds right to me.
Right, I'm presuming you didn't get to tell Drew the result.
No.
Have you repeated that test since, Justine?
Why would I?
Yeah, sure. Look, could you maybe do another?
I don't have the grounds, especially after the first came back clean.
Do you need a court order? Because I can easily get that.
Fine. I'll take another sample.
Thank you.
This afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. Can you do a full spectrum on that? I mean, as much as you can. Test for everything.
Okay.
Jasleen, how does Mark receive his sedatives? He's still on them, right?
Orally now. 20 milligrams of prescription benzodiazepine, Ativa, taken with food when he gets his breakfast. Maria collects them from me, takes them in. Luca does the same at night.
And that's been sufficient, has it?
So far, if there was any increased anxiety or even another event, I could always administer something intravenously.
Mm-hmm. Could I just take you back to what Dr. Fairfield suggested about Mark's drug stash?
His theory.
Yeah, sorry, I meant that. Is there... do you get the impression that there is much drug use around the base?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, okay, but have you noticed anything involving, like, self-medication, for example?
Please, Inspector, I'm not going to ruin anyone's career.
No, okay, sure, yeah. But what about prescription drugs? Presumably you have supplies, yeah?
Of course.
Well, could anyone be helping themselves to those?
They're locked away, always locked.
Well, who's got the key for those?
Me. And Johan.
That's all just you two?
That's all.
Any sign of break-in or tampering with that lock?
I think I would have seen.
Yeah, of course you would. Are you prescribing to anyone else on the base?
That would be in breach of confidentiality.
Yeah, no, I understand. Could you just tell me, though, is anyone regularly receiving medication on the base? Could you tell me that?
No, I can't. I won't. I need to consult HR about that kind of question.
No, I get it. You're professional.
Or if you want to talk to Keone about it, if they want to sign it off, then maybe.
I'll see. Yeah, maybe.
I'm just not taking the rap.
No, I get it, Jasleen. Look, I've been there myself.
Paper trails, bedrock of modern professional life.
Okay, let me just have a wee think. Is there anything else? Yes. I was wondering if, when you go back to look at the ceiling in the locker room, could you also just use your spray on the jackets and the stuff on the shelves there? See if you can pick anything else up.
Blood, you mean?
Yeah, on any other jacket or hat or anything.
Things
on
will
those
have
shelves.
been moved since then, probably.
Yeah, but you still might get a pattern.
Okay. I suppose people will know that they've been tested.
Yeah, well, there's really no alternative. I'll talk to Johan. I'll send something in writing.
Sure.
Johan also mentioned the sleds. He said there was lots of them and anyone could access them, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, of course, look, this is just a working theory, but if somebody moved through to the crevasse, maybe they used a sled. I know this is a lot, Jasleen, but can you test them too?
All of them? Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Great, thank you so much. And sorry, just one more thing. And look, this is for everybody, but we're asking everybody for their phones.
What?
It's just that we need to download the data. Luca Ketsy's agreed to do it for us. It's pretty simple.
I don't care whether he has or he hasn't. I don't think my phone has anything to do with any of this.
No, we just download the data from your phone, you get it
I only
straight back.
use it for contacting people off base. I just want to think about this.
Of course, yeah.
It's private conversations, WhatsApps, things. I don't want Luca seeing it, let alone...
No, listen, I can assure you, it just gets plugged in and transferred. Luca doesn't see anything. It just comes straight to us.
If he can plug it in, he can get it himself. Plug it into his own download.
No, he's going to be under supervision the whole time, so really
Tell
it's
that
a
to
controlled...
Edward Snowden.
Well, look, this really isn't the same situation.
Look, Inspector, you've got me acting like your very own CSI, but you still ask for my alibi. Still want to read my phone. This is not cool.
Okay, I understand, Jasleen, and please do know that I do appreciate everything that you've done, yeah? And take your time about the phone, have a wee think about it, that's fine.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I think we can probably leave it there for now.
Sure.
And listen, like I said, we are hugely grateful to you, Doctor. Honestly, everything you've done for this investigation, it's really moved us on. It's been fantastic. So, yeah, let me know if and when you've got anything to report.
Okay.
Okay, great.
What about the Dropbox, the secure thing?
Yeah, I've got that written down here. First thing, we'll send you a sign-in, full instructions, yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again, Jasleen. And look, if there's anything else you want to add,
I'm good.
yeah, okay, well,
Thank you.
I'll end the recording here. So the time is 20:25 GMT on the 25th of June, 2023.
Get all the files now. Sign up at coldtapes.com and go ad-free.